Hello, I'm Peter Towers, Managing Director of ESS BIZTOOLS. Welcome to Accountant's Minute. I hope that you've had a great week and that you're going to enjoy your weekend. This week we have an article, Do You Want to Diversify Your Accountancy Firm? We've looked at the problems that we're experiencing with higher interest rates, higher inflation, difficulty in attracting and retaining staff, and a whole lot of other things. And we're talking to you today about financial forecasting, which we think is a great range of products and services that you could offer your clients to help your SME clients run better businesses, to add value to their businesses, to ultimately start on a scaling up process. This will create great work for your clients and they'll be appreciative, but for your accounting team, they will have interesting and challenging work, as well as taxation, to undertake, which we think will assist with attraction and retention of skilled people within your firm. And we're overviewing the 3 packages which we now have available following our reorganisation. We have the starter package, which you can subscribe for a very low cost, and then we have the advanced package and the financial forecasting package that will assist you to deliver these services. We then have our grand final promotion, which is a great opportunity for someone in your team to have a short holiday. And if you subscribe to one of those 3 packages that I just mentioned, we will allocate a voucher for a free holiday to your firm, and it's up to you to allocate who gets it then, but that's your decision. We're very happy to be able to share that with you to help create a bit of fun and relaxation after what has been a very exhausting couple of years. We then have accounting news, and this week we have a variety of news. First of all, a reminder about the domain registration issue that comes to a climax on the 20th of September. So please tell your clients to look at that. We also have an article which I've written on research and development, SMEs under attack. This followed an article in the Financial Review on the 30th of August, written by a Vice-Chancellor of Sydney University, Professor Emma Johnston, which is advocating that the government should withdraw the financial support for SMEs and others, businesses, under the Research and Development Scheme and allocate all that money to universities. I don't agree, and I hope you don't agree either, and we need to bring this to the government's attention. Now, if you would like to see the article that originally appeared in the Financial Review, we will be uploading that to our website on Monday, and you'll be able to view it then. It occurred to me this afternoon that we hadn't put that onto our website. The Smithy Young Gun Conference is on at last. It's been postponed 3 or 4 times because of COVID-19. It's on in the Gold Coast, 10 and 11 of October. Their early bird registration expires on Saturday the 10th. That's when you'll be looking at this, I hope. Saturday the 10th. So if you've decided that you're going, or you're going to allow some of your staff to go, please get in and complete the registration. We got the link to the Smithy website in our article. And we also have the e-newsletter proposal. This is very important that you are effectively communicating with your clients and prospects. One of our affiliates, Brad Smart, has made an offer, and it's available for you to review, and you can then talk to Brad, and the contact details and everything are shown. We have a link to the podcast that I recorded this week. The first one was on the research and development issue that I just referred to. And the second one was also on an issue I just referred to, the domain registration problems for SMEs. You can also check out our posts that we've made to social media in the last week, and there are 5 of those that you can click onto and listen to. And if you want to, send us a comment. We also have free education events, which are webinars, which we are presenting on the virtual CFO delivery, an introduction to it, on the 15th of September, and on financial forecasting, a package of services. We're presenting that on Wednesday, the 28th of September. I hope that this edition of Accountant's Minute in a different format is pleasing to you. We'd like to hear your feedback. Is it giving you worthwhile information that you can use to help you in your accountancy businesses, or if you're not the partner or senior manager of a firm, in your accountancy career? We'd like to hear from you, and perhaps give us some ideas of information we could include on a future edition. Issues for accountants to consider. Research and development, whilst not perfect, is important for SMEs, and this is my key commentary for today. Some ambitious academics have their eyes on the slice of research and development government support that is currently the domain of SME businesses. And SME businesses really do not get that much, whereas academics and universities seem to get a whole range of government support for activities. The universities obviously have suffered quite significantly through the COVID period, but so have many businesses. And I don't think universities should be looking at trying to grab some of the money that's been allocated to SMEs to assist in research and development activities. In an article in the Financial Review on the 30th of August, Ditch R&D Tax Concessions for Direct Funding, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor of the University of Sydney, Professor Emma Johnson, says tax concessions currently paid to SMEs should be scrapped in favour of direct federal funding. Well, all accountants know that many of our SME clients undertake legitimate research and development expenditure every year without any or much academic input. They do this because they're trying to advance their businesses, and some of them have been very successful. And you can read about them in the daily papers, including the Financial Review, of course. So there appears to be a attempt by some sections of academia to gain this money to the deterrent of SME operators who are following the rules. They're incorporating a company and they're keeping the records that are required under the legislation to be able to claim research and development expenditure. And it's not that much. But let's look at what the benefits might be. The SME has to incorporate a company. You can't claim research and development expenditure unless the claimant is a company. The company is entitled to a tax offset calculated at 43.5% if the company's turnover is under $20 million. And these comments are directed at the SME market, or for the benefit of the SME market, and to alert accountants that this is happening. And I think we all should stand up and fight for our clients, the SME business community, to continue to be able to avail themselves, if they wish, to undertake research and development activities. So they receive 43.5% of their legitimate research and development activities as a tax rebate. Now, this comes off their tax bill, unless they're trading at a loss, which many of them are, And for the last 10 years or so, they've been able to receive a cash refund equivalent to that 43.5% of the legitimate research and development expenditure. As long as their losses exceed that calculation, the tax office will pay them that calculation within 30 days of the company lodging its tax return. And prior to that, of course, the company needed to have lodged the registration form for research and development with Oz Industry. To go through that process, the company must keep the records that are required, which basically documents the whole process. They had an idea. They thought about a project. They put together a small team that they've identified, because the tax office or Oz Industry might ask who did the original research. They then need to consider whether this particular project is going to be eligible for research and development. And at this stage, they're receiving no special taxpayer benefits whilst they do this research. And they then need to implement a systematic progression of work whereby they are going to plan a task, write down what that task is, then undertake the task and record the results. And if they don't do it like that, their claim for research and development expenditure can be disallowed. They need to undertake a search as to whether there's any prior art or literature relative to what their project is. Now, that's a lot of work. These days, of course, you can rely to a certain extent on internet searches, but that's not all of it. The company needs to talk to experts, and the experts may raise a fee for that advice. They may not be prepared to give them advice because they've already signed a retainer with someone else. So the company needs to go through this process, which includes listing the core activities that it's contemplating undertaking in this research and development process. And they need to be identifying the new knowledge that they intend to produce. And this is all before they really start doing anything. And there's no guarantee that they're going to receive the taxation benefit. They have to undertake this expenditure, do all of the documentation and record keeping at the end of the financial year, 30th of June, prepare a return that has to be lodged with Oz Industry, which gives detailed commentary on everything they've done that I briefly summarised then for every aspect of the research, who was involved, how long did it take, what was the results that come from this. And many businesses are benefiting from these research and development activities. Now, some of them never get converted into actual commercial products that everyone can see. Some of the research is done so that it's incorporated within the business, so that the business is able to get the benefit of this research activity that's been conducted. The federal government also has another program called Innovation Connections, which you might be aware of. Now, this is a program that is there to assist SMEs on research activities. But do you know that the minimum turnover that a company, so it has to be a company once again, that a company must have to be able to get any sort of support from Innovation Connections is $1.5 million in most of Australia, but in Northern Australia, it's been reduced to $750,000. A lot of these businesses that are undertaking research and development have virtually no turnover. Shouldn't they be able to put their hands up for some of this support? The support that the universities probably want to grab also and say that that's got to go to academics. So I think it's time for accountants and the SME market to stand up and say enough's enough. We want the research and development as outlined for SMEs maintained at least in its current state, but hopefully the new government might see their way clear to relax some of those rules. I don't know why we have to have turnovers of $1.5 million. There's a lot of small businesses running very legitimate businesses that haven't got turnovers anywhere near $1.5 million, who could be undertaking research and development, and they're not available to obtain grants that is only a sum of $50,000 on a 50-50 basis in any case to assist them on that research activity. If you agree with me, you might like to send me an email, peter@essbiztools.com.au. If you don't agree also, send it to me. And we might then be able to forward those responses on to the Small Business Ombudsman and ask him what he is doing to counteract this claim from the Sydney University professor looking for the allocation of money that is there for the benefit of businesses, to encourage businesses to undertake research and development. The next issue I want to bring to your attention is on a completely different subject, and it's on domain registration problems for SMEs. Now, this has come out of left field a bit, I must admit. I wasn't particularly aware of it until a week or so ago when my son, who's an accountant, sent me an email to say, are you aware of this, and do your subscribers and listeners know about this? So I thought we should be conveying to you the words of warning from the Australian Small Business and Family Enterprise Ombudsman, Bruce Bilson, who's a former federal minister for small business, if you recognise the name, in the Morrison government, but did not seek re-election a couple of years ago, and now he's the Small Business and Family Enterprise Ombudsman. So he's got a lot of influence on the government of the day for small businesses. So he has made a warning to businesses that the decision of the non-government regulator for domain names, .au domain administration, that's abbreviated to AUDA, is making new domain names available that basically eliminate com, C-O-M, or net, N-E-T, in the name. And they're giving until the 20th of September the opportunity to the current holders of a name that incorporate com or net to be able to register an abbreviated name, exactly the same, except no com and no net. But the big catch is if the current owner of that domain name does not register an abbreviated version of that name by the 20th of September, that AUDA then intends to let anyone apply for that abbreviated registration. So businesses need to realise that their domain name that they've been using for some years could suddenly reappear, potentially owned by a competitor. And it's exactly the same, except it does not include .com or .net. It's a bit frightening, really. And do your clients understand this? And do they know it? And are they able to do something about it? So they should be talking to their web advisors, whoever looks after these sorts of things for them, to get these registrations sorted out before it's too late. And they wake up, in the words of Bruce Bilson, the Ombudsman. He said He's imploring businesses to take urgent action to safeguard their brand and identity on the internet, or risk seeing impersonators, web name campers, or cyber criminals, to name a few, take up domain names just like theirs. And that would be very unfortunate, and would be unfortunate for you to have clients coming to you on the 21st or 22nd of September or thereabouts complaining that someone else now has a key component of their domain name and they knew nothing about this change of regulation. I think you need to make sure all of your clients are warned. Send up to them, of course, but I'll leave that to you. So that's our update for this week on our ESS BizTools podcast. Next week, we're going to be continuing our story on the evolution of financial forecasting, concentrating initially on the business planning, because business planning is very important for the development of financial forecasts, budgets, cash flow forecasts, and projected balance sheets. So stay safe. Have a great day. Goodbye.